It appears with new construction, you can get a brand new home, you can have warranties, they have lending incentives towards closing costs, you can buy down your rate, and it starts to look like a really good alternative to the resale home. So what's the catch and what should you look out for? And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. The first major difference about the new construction in the same price point as a resale home is that generally you're going to end up in a smaller lot and smaller square footage for the same price. So for example, you might be able to get a 2,800 square foot house on a 9,000 square foot lot for $450,000 in one of the established master plan communities. And that's the other thing that kind of bothers me about the new construction in the Houston suburbs is that I'm not sure if you've ever noticed, but if you look for new construction homes or quick move-in homes that are under $500,000 on Zillow or Redfin or even the MLS, they never show the actual house. They want you to go there. And then once you go there, the house is not what you expect. You can tell that they've cut a lot of corners, that the design is extremely basic, and that's how they are keeping the cost lower. And 5 years ago, a home built for $400,000 to $500,000 in the Houston suburbs was a high-end builder, and that's just not the case anymore. Builders' costs and inflation have gone through the roof, and they're also trying to make products that people can afford because the home prices are crazy, interest rates are crazy, and the only way the builder can do that is to start building more simple, basic homes. And again, these are not bad homes. I'm not saying that they're terrible builders or any of that. I'm just saying that it usually throws buyers that are relocating here for a loop because their expectations are set a little higher based on the YouTube videos and some of the research and pictures that they are seeing online. So that's another thing to understand about here in the master plan communities. If you're looking at two builders in the same exact community and about the same size house, and one is 405 and the other is 524, there is a reason for that, and it usually has to do with the warranties, the build quality, and what's included as standard. So make sure you do your research when you are looking at all the builder options within all the communities. Number 3, another reason people kind of turn away from resale homes and start looking at builders and new construction is because of the incentives. I'll be honest, it is really hard for sellers to compete with a builder or a corporation right now when they're able to offer rate buy downs and closing costs and credits. There are a lot of great incentives right now for building a new construction home, but they do come with their downfalls. One being that it usually traps you into having to use the builder's lender, which is not always ideal. I highly recommend when you're building a new construction to still get approved with an outside lender and to really look at your finances and your goals with the house and your investment and see which one fits you better for long and short-term investments. Typically, home builders will give you immediate relief and immediate credits, but not necessarily the best incentives when it goes for the long term of the loan. Number 4 is negotiations, and here in Houston you are able to negotiate with the builders, especially in a market like now where there's not as many buyers and it's not as competitive. Some builders are going to be more open to negotiating than others, but I am going to give you some tips on the ways builders are more likely going to negotiate with you, and it's number 1 is not asking for a price reduction. That is probably the last thing a builder is going to do because it affects the appraisal and the future sales of their home. However, if you do ask for credits, especially towards lending or closing costs, or if you ask for design center credits, or you ask for things to be added on like appliance packages and blinds and all those things, they're much more likely going to do that than to reduce the price. So start there when you do negotiate. Number 5 is to use a real estate agent when building a new construction home, and a lot of people say that that's pointless and that the construction manager and salesperson of the builder does most of the work. And while that's true, they do play a big role in building your new construction home. There are a lot of things that they are not going to do for you. Like, they are not going to run comps for you to make sure that you're getting a fair price compared to other builders and houses in the neighborhood. They are not going to unbiasedly give you information and advice about the development of that neighborhood or neighborhoods close by. They're not going to tell you if there's a better deal or a better development close by. They're not going to educate you on the resale value or what you should and shouldn't put in your home to increase increase the value. They're not going to educate you on the school districts and the commercial of the area and developments that are coming around that area that might affect the resale value. And they are most definitely not going to have the most resources and education about other builders that are similar to them or even better. They are also not going to give you resources for private inspections and other things that will protect you and represent you as a buyer. Generally, you wouldn't buy a resale home unrepresented, and this is the same thing. You are still purchasing a home at the end of the home build process. So I would highly encourage you to have representation when you do that. Number 7 is the builder contract. And compared to a resale transaction, you do not get a whole lot of say in the contract with a builder. Whereas in a traditional transaction, you have a little bit more say in the concessions and the way that the contract is written and negotiated. Generally, builders are in the business to make money and thrive off of their reputation. So even though the contract is written in their favor, they're not necessarily going to intentionally screw you over. But it is definitely something to be aware of, that the builder contracts are written in favor of the builder, and it is advisable to get an attorney to read it over for you to understand what you are getting yourself into before you sign it. And the last thing I want to touch on is tiers of builders. Here in Houston, we have 3 different categories of builders. We have entry-level builders, mid-tier builders, and luxury builders. The entry-level usually cater to first-time home buyers, and their focus is on affordability, so there's not a whole lot of design features or upgrades within the house. It's really usually just a basic house to get you started. The second is mid-tier builders, and this is where a ton of builders fall within the Houston area, and they usually focus on affordability as well. However, they're going to give you a little bit more options and wiggle room when it comes to design and features within the house. Usually you can pick a design package, and you have a little bit of say in the variations of floor plans. And the last one is luxury or upper tier builders. This is where you'll get the most customization and design options within your home build. Generally, you get at least 2 design center appointments where you get to pick all the finishes in your house. You get a little bit more customization in the floor plan, and it's the full experience. So depending on what the lot size is and what tier of builder you are working with is going to determine a lot about the pricing of the house. Anyways, I hope this gave you a little bit of clarity about the reality of building a new construction home in the Houston suburbs and what to expect as of 2024. If you're looking to move to the Houston area and would like assistance, feel free to message me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.